Hello, friends. Welcome to another Stamp With Me Tuesday. Tonight, we are going to be using one piece of 6x6-inch pattern paper. I actually cut it down from 12 by 12, one 6x6-inch piece of pattern paper, and we're going to turn it into 4 different cards. And I'm going to use some new product for this tonight. Plus, I have 3 other samples. So that's like an additional 12 cards that I'm going to share with you tonight. Lots and lots of stuff going on. I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited to jump in and use these stamps. If you are here and joining me live, let me know in the comments if you have used a one-sheet wonder before or if this is your first time. If you're watching the replay, I want to know the same thing. Make sure you leave me a comment and let me know if you've done a one-sheet wonder before. I love knowing that y'all come later to watch the replay, so make sure you leave that comment. If this is your first time here, my name is Heidi with Oni Go Stamping. I'm going to help you reconnect with your inner artist by using stamps, ink, and paper to make beautiful handmade cards and gifts, just like the ones we are going to use tonight. We're going to make tonight, I should say. If this is your first time here, I hope that you'll hit that subscribe button so that you always know when I go live and you keep up to date with what's happening. So, hello, Jean. You've used them and you love them. Awesome. Deborah, you love one-sheet wonders. If you are newer and you're like, what is a one-sheet wonder? It's just a fancy name for this idea of taking a piece of pattern paper, either 6x6 or 12 by 12, and turning it into multiple cards really quickly and easily. It's a great way to make like a stack of cards. And that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to make my workspace look just a little bit bigger. There we go. So we can see this new stuff that I'm using tonight. I got a bunch of new pre-order items. These are going to be online exclusives coming in November, and they are so cute. I got so much good stuff. I can't wait to pull it out and use it, but I was gone this weekend. So I'm kind of like catching up from the weekend. I really haven't had time to really dive into this very much. So we're going to use it tonight. I grabbed the banner sayings bundle, and this is so cute. It has all these little sayings. You are loved. I'm so grateful. Consider yourself hugged. You're the sweetest. I can't thank you enough. Wishing you good things. Happy birthday. Here's to you. And then it has cursive ones too. So it says, you did it. Cue the confetti. I'm here for you. Celebrate. Thanks a million. Sending my love. So super, super fun. And what's really great is it has a punch. Check out this punch. It cuts out all these little banners that you can stamp those greetings on. I love it. The other stamp set I'm going to use tonight is the Pop-Up Petals stamp set, which is just fun. It has a couple of vases and some different flowers. I love the sentiments in this one too, but I really wanted to try out the banner punch. So I'm going to use that tonight. This does have coordinating dies. I pulled these out just in case, but I'm not planning on using the dies tonight. We're going to keep things simple, simple. And then I pulled out the embellishments that go with it. Use some of those. All right. For the paper, now this stamp set is not part of a suite. So I grabbed a different new paper. This is the Brushed with Beauty Designer Series paper. And it does have, it's actually a super suite. It has 2 different stamp sets and dies and all sorts of stuff, which I also have, but I wanted to keep it simple. So we're just using this set. It has these gorgeous florals design on one side. And then, of course, on the other side, we get a more subtle pattern. We have like this dotted one, and we have a striped one over here. And then we have just some like brushed things that just look like a oil brushed canvas, right? Or your wall or something. I don't know. So that's what we're using. I chose this one that has flowers on one side and stripes on the other. Now I am a little bit concerned because the flowers don't go all the way to the edge, but I think it's going to be okay. I think we're going to make it work. So with this, now over on my website, for this one sheet wonder, on my website, I do have a free project sheet. You can grab this project sheet. It has all of the dimensions on it, pictures of sample cards, and then it has the layout of how to cut this. So it's all over there for you. Make sure you pop over there and get it. Or if you're on my email list, you're going to get this in your email tomorrow morning. So I send out free project sheets every Wednesday. So that'll be coming your way tomorrow morning. All right, we're going to make our first cut. I'm going to start by cutting the cardstock, and then cutting the pattern paper, and then I'll go over all of the dimensions and things for the cardstock, and we'll finish the cards together. So I'm going to start by cutting, and I'm actually going to turn this kind of upside down to do this. I'm going to make a 3/4 inch cut. So our cut number 1 is going to be 3/4 inches, and I'm just going to cut it off one side, 3/4 inches. All right, so that's cut number 1. We cut a 3/4 inch strip, and I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to cut it into 2 3-inch pieces. All right, so we have 2 3-inch pieces. This is for card A. Okay, so we'll set that aside for card A. Now I am going to cut off, I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to cut off one end at 1 3/4 inches. And I think I'm going to cut off this end. So we're going to cut this at 1 3/4. Just line that up in there. And then each of these, I'm going to cut this into 3 squares that are 1 3/4 inch as well. So this is 1 3/4. We're going to cut this at 1 3/4. Kathy, I was just in LaGuardia yesterday. All right. Hello, Kobe. Welcome, welcome. So now I have these 3 squares. This is going to be for card B. We'll set those aside. And now with this sheet, I'm going to, again, turn this back 90 degrees. And I'm going to start by cutting 3 1-inch strips. So we're going to cut 3 1-inch strips. 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you can't keep up with this, you can watch the replay afterwards, and it'll be there for you. So you can watch it all again. So we have 3 1-inch strips. All right, we'll set those aside. That's card C. And then this one, we're going to cut this into 3 3/4 inch strips. All right, so we're going to cut this 3 3/4 inch strips. So here we go. 1. And basically, we have to make 2 3/4 inch cuts. 1 and 2, and that gives us 3 3/4 inch strips. Okay, so stack these all up. I'm going to set these aside. I'm going to set my paper trimmer aside. And we're going to work on the cart. So we're going to start with card A. Okay, card A. I'm going to use my little cheat sheet because otherwise I don't remember which card is which. Card A has a piece. So all of these are going to use a 8.5 by 5.5 inch base. Okay, so here's our card base. I'm going to use crumb cake for all of my card bases. Just give this a squish. And then card A needs, the crumb cake is the cardstock 1 for me. Cardstock 2, I am using Calypso Coral. And it needs a piece, I believe it's this one, that is 4 3/8 by 3 1/8. And then I have a cardstock 3, which is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Okay. And then it also needs a piece of vanilla. And the vanilla piece, or white, I'm using vanilla because it matches my pattern paper. The vanilla piece is going to be 2 5/8 by 3 inches. Okay, I'm going to make this a horizontal card. So it's going to go on there like that. When we get done, our 2 little strips, and I'm going to flip these over and use the stripe side. The 2 little strips will go on the outside. Okay, so that's our basic card layout. But I want to do a little bit of stamping on here before we get too far. So let's do, let me see, we'll put this, and then maybe we'll put the flowers in it. Oh, that'll be great. Put a sentiment on the bottom. So maybe we'll do a happy birthday sentiment on the bottom first. I'm going to stamp this with Girly Espresso. There we go. And then I think I'm going to make the pot, I'm going to make it petal pink. We're going to make a petal pink vase for this. So let me see. Here's my vase I'm going to use. I'm going to use the polka dot one. Just stamp that there. Now, what I am going to do, because these stems are a little bit longer, like I want it to be down in the pot a little bit more. So I have some sticky notes, and I'm just going to cover up the top of this with a sticky note. Okay, so this is just going to come in here almost all the way to the edge. I'm going to stamp my flowers in early espresso. And I'm just going to come in kind of where I want them in the pot. And then you can see they're more inside the pot. We don't have those stems going all the way down where you can see them. All right, just a tiny bit of masking. Now, I love this stamp set because it is two-step. And I love two-step stamping. It is my favorite. Two-step stamping is when you have multiple stamps that create one image. So we don't have to color. I'm going to take some crumb cake, and I'm going to stamp the centers with crumb cake, just like that. And I'm going to make these Calypso coral flowers. So I have the inside to the flowers. Line those up. Look at that. So easy. Now, it doesn't have one for the leaves, which is kind of disappointing, but what can I do? I'm going to go in. I'm going to color these leaves myself. I'm just going to use a light mossy meadow for this. I forgot to mention, so I showed you the stamps, but I forgot to mention that they came in the new style of stamp case. So Stampin' Up! Is switching the style of stamp case. Everything's going to come in like a flat envelope instead of a CD case. And these stamps came in that new stamp case. So there we go. I just added a little bit. There's our flowers. So cute, so easy. And now we can put this together. And maybe, let's see, let's add maybe a little bit of ribbon. Do I want to add some ribbon on there? Maybe so. Let's see. I was going to use pink, but I think I'm actually going to use some brown. If I can find. Of course, I can't find my brown. Well then, we'll use this. So there's brown, there's early espresso and old olive twine, and I don't know where my pack has gone. But we'll use some of this. We'll use some crumb cake. So what stamp set am I using? I'm using the brand new Pop-Up Petals stamp set. So let's see. Do I want to put this all the way across? Or you know what? I don't even, like, I searched for that and now I don't even think I want to use it. I can't decide. I don't know what I want to do. Tell me in the comments if you have ideas, because I want to use the gems, and maybe the bow is just a little too much. I don't know. All right, I'm going to add my pieces of the pattern paper to the side. And my stamped piece to the center. So cute. And then I didn't get these close enough. I don't know what I did. What did I do? Did I cut my white wrong? I think I cut my white wrong. Well, then, I cut something wrong. I got something wrong. And now my glue is glued. Oh no. We'll just have to go with it. We're just going to have to like put it on there. I'm going to go back and check those measurements because I don't know what I did wrong. I'll have to figure it out. My guess is it's the vanilla. That is my guess, but I'm not sure. I have to go back and look at it. All right. Well, I just did it like that. My samples, you'll see I left like a little bit of a opening between them. But this one, I'm not, apparently. Jean, you say no ribbon? All right, we'll go no ribbon. Sometimes you just got to go with things, right? All right. There we go. Let me pop this up. Let's put this on some dimensionals, just for the fun of it. Real dimensionals, though. Y'all, this is what happens when I come in and I do a live after I haven't really stamped all week. All weekend. I shouldn't, not all week, but well, no, I've been really busy. I really have not done a lot of stamping since last week, Tuesday. And so everything on my desk is kind of chaos. Everything is missing. I worked really hard last night to get the Handmade Treats Christmas series kits out in the mail after I got home from New York. And so, and whenever I do a big shipment like that, everything in my office just turns into chaos. You don't see what is wrong. Let me show you my sample, one of my sample cards. I'll show you the sample card. You can see. Do this one. So in the sample card, you get this little bit of, you have a space, right? So you get that little bit of the card there. This one, I didn't, something is cut wrong. I don't have enough room to have a space there. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, there we go. Let's put some gems on here. These are the new Pearls of Beauty gems. Let's see if I can get them open. Happy Tuesday, Susie. Let's add some of these Calypso Coral ones. Don't know what I'm doing, but we're just going to do it. We'll do that. There we go. So there we go. There's our first card. That is card A. So cute. All right, I'm going to set that aside. We're going to do card B. So card B, we need the card base again, of course. Okay. And then we need a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. And we need a piece of white or vanilla cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay. And then we have these 4 little squares. We use our 4 little squares. And I might, let's see. Let's do a stripe one. So we'll do two flowers and a stripe. All right. Or maybe I should do 2 stripes and a flower because we're going to put a flower up here. Ooh, that's fun. The stripes go different directions. All right. So we have those 3 little squares. We're going to adhere those on there. But first, we're going to do just a little bit of stamping. And I'm going to stamp. I think I'm going to stamp this little flower. We're going to stamp a sentiment on here. Let me see. How about the sentiment that says sending love? I'm going to try to put these where I want them so that I can stamp accordingly, but not glue them down in case I need to move them. All right, so I'm going to use my early espresso again. We're going to stamp sending love. I'm sending my love. That's so sweet. And then I'm going to stamp a tulip-ish looking flower up here. And I think there's a little butterfly. I'm going to stamp the butterfly too. So cute. All right. There is an inside to the flower. Now there is no leaves on this one, and there's nothing for the butterfly either. Very disappointing. I want everything to have all the stamps. No coloring. All right. So there we go. We'll just stamp that in Calypso Coral. I'm going to bring in my Mossy Meadow again and color in my leaves. There we go. And we'll color in my butterfly. Let's make the butterfly petal pink, since that's the kind of colors I'm going with. So I'm just going to start with the dark. And I'm going to add just a little bit of light on the inside. I think I'm just going to stop there. Isn't that cute? So sweet. So easy. We're keeping things simple tonight. So let's glue on our pieces. I really like this one. I'm going to switch this out. I'm going to switch it out. Yeah, pick the piece you like best. Stripes are stripes, but flowers all turn out a little bit different. And we'll add the flowers over here. Now you could pick all 4 flowers or all 4 stripes or all 4, whatever. I just decided to mix it up a little bit. Do something different. That's why I always like to choose a pattern paper that I like both sides, right? That I think both sides are going to be something interesting and that work together. Because sometimes they don't work together very well. There we go. And then this is going to go on. Actually, we're going to put this on with dimensionals. So let's put this on our card base first. So again, I'm using a crumb cake card base. And I'm going to attach, this is a square, it's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 in Calypso Coral. I'm going to attach this to the front with my green glue. So, and I'm kind of putting it's square and the card base is not square. So I'm kind of putting it towards the top a little bit. And then we're going to add this one. I'm going to put this on with some dimensionals just for the fun of it. And I'm using tiny dimensionals because I don't know where my full-size dimensionals have disappeared to. So normally I would not use these teeny tiny dimensionals because they're too small for my hands. But we'll pop this up just like this. And we'll add some gems to this too. So let's see. I think I'm going to use the kind of sandy colored gems on this one. There we go. Super quick and easy card. There's card number 2. You like that layout? All right. So card number 3, again, we need a card base. And then we need a piece of cardstock. And the piece of cardstock for this card C is 4 1/2 by 3 3/8 inches. I'm going to fold my card base. Okay, and this is going to use these 1-inch strips. So we're going to adhere these 1-inch strips to our piece of cardstock. Now you can do the backs, you can do different ones, you can mix and match. I'm going to use all the 3. The 3 same, and I kept them in order so it makes that whole picture. So I'm just going to start by adhering these to my card front. Just like this. There's one. Do the middle one. Hopefully these all line up how I want them. All right. Here's the second one. And I'm just leaving a hair of space in between the strips. Maybe a little bit more space than that. There we go. This is why I use green glue, so I can slide it over. I can slide it over. All right, I'm going to put this third piece on. Here we go. So pretty, pretty, pretty. This will eventually go on here. Isn't that nice? All right, I'm going to cut a piece of vanilla. I'm going to cut a circle. And I think I'm using the 2-inch circle. That's what I decided I want to use. So we'll use the 2-inch circle. And we're going to stamp this. Where'd my scrap paper go? There it is, because I'm sure I'm going to go off the edge. I'm going to use the more rosy looking flower on this one. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to stamp it in early espresso again, though. Just like that. Pretty, pretty. Now this one does have a stamp for the leaves and for the rose. I'm going to use petal pink on this one. No, I haven't tried this yet, so I'm sure that there is a perfect way to line this up. I don't know what it is, though. So I might just give up and be like, nope, whatever works, works. Because sometimes it really just doesn't matter that much. We're just going to go with it. There we go. So I just added that. There's probably like the perfect spot to stamp it. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. When I figure it out, I'll come back. We'll use it again. We'll have tips. All right, I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow for this. And like I said, there is a stamp for the leaves on this one. So you can just stamp this in the leafy leaf area. So cute. So, so cute. All right. And then this one, I'm going to use that banner punch. I said I was going to use the banner punch, and I haven't yet today. But I'm going to use the banner punch. So I'm using this new banner punch, which is so fun. I'm going to punch it out of vanilla. Let me see. I think maybe this one. Let's see what that looks like. Let's decide. Maybe we'll use the flag one instead. So I'm going to put this here like that. And then this one or this one. I'm going to use this one. All right. And I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to stamp this with Thanks a Million in early espresso again. Good morning in sunny Australia. That sounds lovely. All right, let me see. I got to get this down to where I can see the whole piece. There we go. So I just stamped that with Thanks a Million. And now we can put this all together. I think I am going to put some twine on here. And I'm using my braided trim, of which I'm tearing it all apart. It is not braided at all anymore. I'm going to use 2 pieces of it, though. And I'm going to tie this in a bow. Let's come in here. There we go. Got to get it the direction I want to get it. So, see how we did. Oh, that went pretty well. That went pretty well. Pretty tight. We'll go with it. I always find like I have to tie the bow 5 times to get it right. How about you? Do you have to tie your bows 5 times to get it right? I take them apart and I retie them, and I take them apart and I retie them. All right. The ribbon is very kinky. I could have like straightened it out with my fingernail. I did not. I'm going to adhere this to the front. Just like this. There we go. And then we're going to put this up here. Actually, I'm going to put that kind of underneath just a little bit, I think is what I'm going to do. We're going to adhere it flat. I haven't made this set, so I'm kind of making things up as I go. because how you finish it is kind of up to you in some ways. So there's my flower. And then we're going to put this on with dimensionals. So I'll put some dimensionals on this. I'm just going to put them on the ends. Let's see if that's going to be enough. Yeah, because I have that big knot in the middle, so I'm kind of leaving the middle empty. We'll just put the dimensionals on the ends. And there we go. There's our thanks a million. Not sticking properly. Let's try this again. There we go. So now it says thanks a million. We're going to add some little gems to this, of course, because I'm in love with these gems. They're so like pearly and sparkly and purty. So let's see. Put one in there. We'll stick one here. And then we'll pop one right there. There we go. So there is our third card. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so sweet. All right. Actually, let's trim up the, I can't leave it like this. This needs to be trimmed up just a little bit. There we go. All right. Our last card. Our last card. Thanks for sticking with me as I make all 4 of these cards. We're going a little bit long tonight. All right. So we have the base again. Now this one, I don't have any additional cardstock. We just have the card base. All right. And we are going to put on the 3 strips that we have. So we have 3 3/4 inch strips. And we're just going to add these to the front. And I think I'm actually going to do it like this. I'm going to do it this way. Did I keep those in order? I did. Look at that. So we're just going to add these to the front. And I'm going to go with the flowers again. Go with the stripes, but the flowers are so pretty. So I'm just going to adhere these to my card front. We're keeping it simple. Where is my glue? Like sitting here, I'm like, glue, glue, glue. Where'd the glue go? You're blurry on your end. I am so sorry about that. I don't know that there's anything I can do to make it unblurry. I think it's probably just the camera. I know I cleaned it off right before I went live, so it shouldn't be dirty. So I think it's probably just the internet connection that it's a little bit blurry. So I apologize for that. All right, here is my 3rd strip, and then we'll figure out what to do with the rest of it. We'll figure out what we want to do. So there we go. Super fun. All right. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Let's cut a bigger circle. Let's cut a 2 3/4 inch circle. 2 3/8 inch circle. I'm just going to use a different circle punch. Make this one a little bit bigger. And then we're going to put this on here. So cute. All right, let's see what we're going to stamp this with. I think I might just go back to like the daisy-ish stamps again. I liked those. I'm going to do the, this time though, I think I'm going to do the base, base in petal pink. And we'll do the flowers in Calypso Coral. Do not cover up the flowers. Well, they have to be covered up a little bit or it's not going to make any sense because otherwise there's nothing else on it. There's just the flowers. So they have to cover up a little bit. All right, I'm going to put my sticky note on here and then come in with my early espresso. I'm going to stamp these daisy-ish flowers. There we go. All right, and then, oh, I didn't get my sticky up quite high enough, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to come in with my crumb cake to add the centers. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to stamp this off. I feel like some of the centers were just a little bit too dark. There we go. I like that better. And I'm going to grab my Calypso Coral and add the flowers. Let me get it lined up just perfect. There we go. Oh, so pretty. And then I think I'm just not even going to color in. I'm not going to color in those the leaves. All right, we're just going to leave the leaves as is. So there we go. We'll put this over here. Since everyone wants it more off to the left, we're going to put that over there. I am going to come in, though, with a little flag here. We're going to put a sentiment on here. Maybe this needs to be, no. I don't know. This paper might just not have worked very well with these stamps. I'm kind of thinking it's just not quite the right paper, but alas, the things we do when we're trying things out. So, all right, here we go. And I'm going to stamp. I don't like how centered that is. This should have been, I should have pushed this over one direction or the other. It's just not, it's not working for me. Oh, well, we're going to finish it. So let's stamp happy birthday on this one. I'm going to add a bow. I'm going to tie a bow in a piece of twine. And add that to this. My twine is way, way longer than what I needed, but that's okay. So I'm going to add this in here. So we'll grab a mini glue dots. Where am I getting the sentiments? The sentiments are from the brand new Banner Sayings stamp set. This is coming in November. It's available for demonstrators to pre-order right now. If you're like, I have to have that now, which I can totally understand, and you're not already a demonstrator, when you join, you can add it to your starter kit, which is really awesome. You can add that to your starter kit. And the starter kit is an amazing, amazing deal this month. It's only $35 and you get to pick $125 worth of product, which is just like, I don't know. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. It's like the price of a tank of gas if you're lucky, right? Like so low. So much value to it. All right. Let's take that out. There we go. Snip these up just a little bit. We'll add some gems. Where'd my gems go? I lost them. They're there. So we'll add some gems to this. That'll be all done. There we go. So there is card number 4. How can you keep track of where sentiments are? I know some people like to, stamp the sentiments and like keep a 3-ring binder and of what all the sentiments are. I rotate out my stamps, so I don't keep them that long. And I just I pull out a stamp set that I want to use. Like a lot of times when I'm making cards, it's a lot more about what stamp sets I want to use instead of the perfect stamps, the perfect sentiment. But yeah, I know a lot of people will just like stamp it all on a binder and they'll write the name of the stamp set so that they can find it. So there is our 4th card. So we have 4 cards All super quick and easy cards. Let me show you my other card samples as well. There we go. You push everything out of the way because it is such a mess on my desk right now. All right, so I showed you one that I did with the Festive Friends. Let me show you the other one. So here's the first one that I showed you already with the Santa from the Festive Friends. We're going to be using the stamp set for the, what month is next month? The November online card class. So there is, that was card A. Let me see. Card B, I did with the trees, the die cut trees. And I used the Christmas tags and more designer series paper for this. Yep. So there's that. And then card C with our little elf. And isn't he a cutie patootie? There's our little elf. He's so cute. And then card D with the snowman. And I think that snowman is so cute. And this tag is in the dies for that set. So really, really sweet, really cute. All right. So there is one of the sets with the Festive Friends. And then this one might be my favorite. This one is with the Beautiful Pumpkins set. And this one, I didn't even put a sentiment on this first one. It's just those pumpkins. Isn't that pretty? And I used the floral textured dots on it. Just so sweet and simple. All right. And then here is the next one. It just says, so grateful. And I used the Gathering Moments, or Gathering Together, I guess, is the designer series paper. And it has those foil, the champagne foil on it. Oh, so pretty. All right. And then this is card C. So grateful to have a friend like you. So you can see this so grateful from this card here. I actually just stamped it from this sentiment. So I just stamped part of it. So there we go. And then this one, isn't that sweet? And I actually, instead of a circle, I die cut the pumpkin and added the leaves and all that kind of good stuff. This is my favorite set of the bunch that I did. So, all right. And then the fourth set, I used the Peace on Earth bundle, that whole kind of suite. So the card A is a sympathy card. Quick and easy sympathy card. Card B is kind of a Christmas card. Peace on Earth Christmas card. So really easy. And this one I stamped in there in that spot, and then I added the die cut. So kind of a different look. And then card C is just kind of like a thinking of you, send to a friend. And isn't that pretty? That one's just kind of cute too. So, and then card D is a Christmas card. And here I used one of the labels from the die set that goes with this, and I kind of cut apart the sentiment to make it a little bit different. So, and you can see this one, I used the different sides of the designer series paper in the stripes. So something very different. So you can see each of these are, a little bit different. I changed the direction of some of these. So this one is vertical. This one's horizontal. I thought I had one with the 3. I guess I don't. Anyway, they're different. They're different. This one I did vertical instead of horizontal. You can do it any which way. That is what is really great about these one sheet wonders, is that, this is the card base that I'm giving you. And then you can take it and do whatever you want with it. You can turn it around and do all sorts of good stuff. So that is it for tonight. Whew, we went long tonight. But this has been so much fun doing this one sheet wonder. The project sheet is over on my website. It is going to go in tomorrow's email as well. And next week, Tuesday, we are going to be doing, what is next week, Tuesday? A fun fold. We're doing a fun fold next week, Tuesday. So that is sure to be super fun. I hope you will come back and join me. And of course, if you have questions or need help with anything, just shoot me an email. I am always here to help you out with whatever questions or needs you have. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week. Thank you again for joining me. I'll see you next week, Tuesday.